and welcome to another episode of Play Unplugged TV. I'm your host, Enrico for PlayUnplugged.com, and we're here for an unboxing, and this time it's going to be Mage Wars, their newest expansion, Druid vs. Necromancer. And this is an expansion for Mage Wars that I've actually been really excited about in anticipation. If you go back, we have some videos. One of them was an interview with Brian Pope, the designer, and he went over a bunch of the art that was going to be on some of these cards and discussed what the different cards were and all the creatures in kind of a preview format. But this is the actual box set in my hand. The reason I'm more excited about this than probably any other Mage Wars expansion is because just the idea of a Necromancer is so cool to me. It's one of those iconic fantasy things that I've just always been into since I was a kid. And to be able to play one in the game, I'm very excited about raising the dead and sending them rising from their graves after other combatants. So, very excited. And I'm a fan of the Mage Wars product in general, so this should be fun to play around with. Alright, so here we are. Here's our box, Mage Wars, game, the customizable strategy game of dueling mages, Druid vs. Necromancer expansion set. And we can see some evocative art on the cover featuring these two characters, the Necromancer and the Druid. And so, cracking this one open. Inside, there will be two new mages, two new mage spellbooks, 216 spell cards, 31 punch markers, and a rules codex. That'll be not the full rules. Obviously, you would have to buy the full game, and you would need that for the board anyway. But this will be, starting right off, this kind of small abbreviated. It's just a few extra pages, and it'll have the sample spell books, and it will also have any kind of special rules that are specific to things that are just in this box set. Full color. Looks good, easy to read, nice layout. It's not, printed on super durable stock, so you got to take care of it. The tokens for Mage Wars sets have always been really great. These don't seem to be any, there doesn't seem to be any depreciation in the quality. These look wonderful. They're just treated cardboard pieces, but so long as you take care of them, they should stand up really well. They punch out really easily. We've got zombies. We've got tokens that say growth, vines. I know that obviously the zombies are for the Necromancer raising the undead. These vine tokens represent the Druid is able to spread her influence around the board with these. Taking these out of the way, this is super exciting. Everybody loves the Mage Wars spellbooks, no doubt. It's probably one of the coolest features of the game. And so this Necromancer spellbook bound in the taut flesh of some sacrificial victims is totally killer. Really love it. Love it, love it, love it. Just great. And the Druid spellbook, of course, is also, once again, very indicative of what the Druid is all about. So, very cool. And so if you're just into collecting these spellbooks, man, these are some nice ones. All right, put those to the side. Here's our first deck. Now, I wonder if these are actually arranged. In the other sets, they weren't actually arranged with the sample decks already set up. You do have to go through and make them. But the cards are all well made. They have really beautiful art on them. Yeah. And like I said, I had a preview of all of these when I was at Gen Con, so I'm not at all surprised to see how great they look. Nothing to complain about here. Lots of cool spells for the Druid. And of course, stuff like there's always going to be things like this one might be good for the Wizard. There are, they like to include stuff so that, you even if you want to keep playing your standard, whichever caster you like, you can still get something out of these box sets. One of the standard, when I say standard, one of the 4 core casters from the core set. Some Acid Ball, a Cloak of Shadows, a Death Ring, Veteran's Belt, some Vine Whip, a Vine Whip Staff. That looks cool. Vine Tree, Wall of Bones. This is obviously, okay, so they're mixed together. So some of these are the are things specifically for the Necromancer. Some of them are specifically for the Druid. We've got some of the cool Necromancer characters. Here's a Necromancer character, Acolyte of the Bog Queen. a devouring jelly. Wraiths, and oh, this is some kind of crazy insect. Oh no, it's more like a devil type creature because it's some kind of infernal beast or whatever. Crowlithor. This was something that Brian Pope talked about a lot. This kind of plant that eats dead things and grows based on how many of those it eats. Let's take a quick look at the Druid. So the Druid has training in the Nature School and level 1 water spells. That's interesting. That's an interesting mix. Not training in 2 schools, but some training and level 1 water schools, water school, but fire and war spells cost triple. Okay, has 2 abilities here: spreading vines and tree bound. And here's the card to represent her on the board. Spreading vines. During the deployment phase, you may place a vine marker. Whenever you or an object you control casts a vine spell, you may target a zone containing a friendly vine marker. Oh, neat. Kind of almost like an arc node in, like, say, War Machine. When a friendly tree conjuration comes into play, you may choose to bond with it. Place your tree-bound marker on it. You gain innate life +4 and channel +1. The tree gains innate life +4, armor +1. If the tree is destroyed, the tree-bound marker is permanently destroyed. Oh, so this is like a one-shot ability. Put it on something good that's going to last. Cool, cool. Moving right along, we've got our Necromancer deck. We'll take a separate look at the actual caster. Here he is, though. Some items. Oh, cool. And so the book that you're using, you could actually have in the game. The Libro Mortuus. Wand of Healing. Altar of Skulls was a big deal. Acolyte of the Bog King, Death Fang, Grey Wraith, a Plague Zombie, a couple of them, Ravenous Ghoul, Shaggoth Zora. This is some kind of oh, cool! It is an undead creature, but once again, it's got the mark for. Oh wait, no, is that the mark for? I've been saying it wrong the whole time. I thought this was a mark for something different. So this is the mark for. Oh no, yeah, training the Dark School. Okay, so this is actually the same mark. The Dark School. Zombie minions. Bunch of different spells here. Lot of creature spells. A butterfly. Why not? A magical one. Maybe a distant cousin of Mothra. A treant. And a whole host of other things. So you're getting a lot here. And like I said, the cards are high quality, great art on them. And lastly, let's take a quick look at the Necromancer again. So with Necromancer, we're saying, trained in the Dark School, he's a Plague Master. The Necromancer has Poison Immunity trait during the upkeep phase. For each object with 1 or more poison condition markers on it, the Necromancer may pay 1 mana to place 1 direct poison damage on that object. Okay, so that's cool, especially if you get poison on your opponent, your opponent's caster. Eternal Servant. When a friendly, non-legendary, non-epic undead creature comes into play, you may make it your Eternal Servant, and its attacks gain piercing +1. Place the Eternal Servant marker on it. If the creature is destroyed, you may pay mana equal to its casting cost to reanimate it. You may place the marker on this creature again when it comes back into play. Or save it to reassign. Oh, so Eternal Servant, very different from the Treebound in that this can be used on multiple creatures, and you can actually bring the creature you use it on back to life. That's pretty useful. All right, so we can see some stark differences between the two casters. It'll be interesting to see how they play, and we'll be doing a review of these for PlayUnplugged.com. Thank you for watching this episode of Play Unplugged TV. If you enjoyed it, please favorite it. Also, make sure you leave comments below because we love to read that stuff. In addition, check out PlayUnplugged.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and you'll find more videos as well as news, reviews, and hobby tips. And we'll see you next time. Folks, thanks for joining Navy Dave. Navy Dave, sign us out.